YouTube, you know, it's still alive, and we back with the last stream of the night, man. And this shit popped up. I have seen some similar to this. I don't think I've seen this one, but before I get into this, let me just put this out there. I am not a LeBron hater by any means necessary. I'm a LeBron fan. I have his jersey. I'm a Lakers fan, which obviously he's not on the Lakers no more. Like I watched him when he played on the Heat. He's one of the all-time greats for sure. But to me, he's not in the GOAT conversation, not even close. Yeah, he's top 10, top 5, but he's not top 1, top 2, or 3. It's, you know what I mean? But before we get into this, man, make sure y'all drop a like, comment, subscribe, and let's find out what they're talking about.
Prevalent in the NBA than in other sports.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
What's the next aspect of the game you want to get better at? Individually.
Individually, winning.
Come again?
You know, it's all said and done. We know free agency is coming up.
Yeah.
Can you picture yourself somewhere else?
At this point, I can't.
Timeout with 2:12 remaining. Dreams of a three-peat ending for the Heat here tonight.
12 seconds later.
LeBron James tells Sports Illustrated, quotes, "I'm going home."
This stuff is hard.
12 seconds later, I'm coming home.
And you got to stay together if you got the guts.
Oh.
And you don't find the first door and run out of it.
Oh, shit. I didn't know Pat Riley came out and said that after LeBron left. That's nuts. He said you got to stay together and it's tough and you don't find the first door and run out of it.
When it comes to the Big Three Heat era,
imagine being able to build
anything just
by thinking of.
You think Kobe's the last three-peat we'll ever see, or do you think we'll see another team do a three-peat?
Anyone with an idea.
Of Chris Bosh,
I don't know that we'll ever see another team do a three-peat.
Wade and LeBron James, the Heatles
Never
era.
say never, but
This team going in 2011 was clearly the next dynasty in the NBA that would dominate the Eastern Conference for years to come. As in LeBron's own words, they're going to win not 1, not 2,
not 3,
not 3, 4, or even 5 championships.
You sure
not 6, not 7.
about that?
Now, with all that being said, looking at the Big Three, their depth, Pat Riley at the helm. This overall era of Heat basketball, while they did win 2 championships, in my personal opinion, it was a bitter disappointment. As look at the record in the finals, 2-2, split it 500, and their 2 losses were devastating losses that were quite frankly embarrassing. As of course, first Dallas, LeBron James, the epic choke job, then versus Spurs 2014, got absolutely demolished.
Did they underachieve though, based on the talent and everything?
I think they should have won 3 or 4.
Correct.
Like when you put that at that time, people was like you forget what Bron say.
Not 2, not 3,
not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8. He kept going. They only showing a little bit. He said not 6, not 7, not 8.
Not at that level.
I mean, y'all was older.
Yeah, we was older, but nobody had the big 3. Everybody had like 2 stars.
2.
A decade plus now, looking back on that Heat team, them going 2-2 in the finals was in fact disappointing.
Yeah, but it was also a really impressive team. Like even though they went 2-2, you still can't take away from what they did do. LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh did their thing. They were impressive. Like I was watching them because at this point in 2013, 2014, Kobe's older. I was still watching the Lakers. I was still a huge Kobe fan, but Kobe wasn't, you know what I mean, who he used to be. So I started watching LeBron and shit. Like, I'm a little kid at this point. I'm 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old.
Was it a failure? Couldn't say that. But disappointing, underwhelming, that's an appropriate label. And look at 2014, that loss versus the Spurs. But that overall series, that season, what was the narrative after the finals? Well, you know, this Spurs team was on a revenge tour, they're destined to win, and the Heat never had a chance. That narrative, in hindsight, after the Spurs won the championship, was a beautiful narrative and a storybook ending.
Facts.
But looking at the journey to get there, it's not entirely true. Look at the Western Conference Round 1, Spurs versus Mavericks. This Mavericks team, their 2 best players, Dirk Nowitzki with 35 and Monte Ellis. This series, it went 7 games. I'll repeat that. A 35-year-old Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, because Dirk beat him in 2011, and then they won in 2012 and 2013 and lost in 2014.
2014 Spurs to 7 games. The second round versus Portland, LaMarcus Aldridge, a dominant series, it was 4-1. Then the West Finals with the Thunder, a 4-2 series, which in all honesty was the NBA Finals, the 2 best teams in basketball. So what's my overall point? Look at this 2014 Spurs team, yes, a great team and worthy champions. But look at their path to the finals, path to the championship, they weren't a juggernaut and a shoo-in to win the title from day one.
Not at all.
And why was that? Because look at the Western Conference.
Yeah, not at all. They weren't freaking, this year the Knicks, like when you really go back and watch the Knicks do the playoffs, you knew like, oh boy, here we go. The Knicks they're going to be something this year.
It was absolutely loaded.
But they still weren't like Miami should have been the absolute favorite to win. And they were, and they lost.
And compared to the East, it's a no contest. 50-win teams in 2014 in the Eastern Conference. There's only 2. The Pacers, then Miami. The Western Conference, get this. You have the Spurs.
That's why they used to call it the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, because the East was always easy compared to the West. This is why Kobe had to beat so many 50-win teams compared to what fucking other people. Kobe has played against more 50-win teams and beat more 50-win teams in the playoffs than any other player in NBA history, because the West was always stacked.
Thunder, Clippers, Portland, the Rockets, Warriors, and Memphis. That West right there had 7 50-win teams. And look at your 8 seed, 49 wins. Even your 9 seed, 48 wins, they missed the postseason. For some context, in the Eastern Conference, the 3rd seed Raptors also won 48 games.
I think I can smell shite.
Yeah.
Now, one more thing I do want to clarify, make crystal clear. Look at this Heat team in 2014. Dwayne Wade entering the finals was not washed. After the finals, how he played, that was the narrative. But heading into it, Dwayne Wade, on record, his most efficient season of his career.
Yeah.
As in the field, 54.
He wasn't scoring as much as he was with Shaq or anything like that, but he was super efficient, and he was a great number 2 option right next to LeBron still, and still had Chris Bosh, who was one of the most dominant big men or power forwards in the league at the time.
0.5%, his highest mark ever. From 2, 55.7%, again his highest, and true shooting percentage, the highest of his career. Looking at 2014 D-Wade, his overall counting stats points per game, as were reduced due to LeBron James being the first option. But looking at efficiency, it was all-time great from Wade in 2014. And look at the NBA, the top 50 scores, based off shooting percentage D-Wade, was the 4th best player in the league.
Yeah.
The guys behind are Dwight Howard, LeBron James, and Brook Lopez. That right there is D-Wade as a shooting guard, 6'4", 6'5", being a top 4 player in the NBA based off scoring efficiency in the 2014 season.
Facts.
Now I'll throw in one last thing. Look at the 2014 East Finals, the Heat versus Pacers. This big 3 combined was at nearly 60 points per game. LeBron James, 22.8 points.
Bro, doing that in the Eastern Conference Finals, LeBron wasn't 21 years old at this point. He wasn't 20 years old. You're supposed to be the best player in the world, and you're only doing 22 points per game.
Wade nearly 20. And
you go back and look at some of Kobe's fucking points per game, like fucking in some of his finals and playoffs and stuff. He was doing 30, averaging 30 throughout the playoffs, averaging 30s and shit like that. Crazy numbers.
Chris Bosh, 16.4. The so-called washed Big 3 Heat washed Dwayne Wade prior to the NBA Finals at 20 points a game on 54.5% shooting. Looking at his overall career based off field percentage, the 4th highest in any series of his entire Hall of Fame career.
We didn't have enough.
Playing on iPhone? Now you can play.
Stop.
Unlock bigger.
He's a liar. Then a sweep of Charlotte defeated Brooklyn in 5 games. Little tougher test against Indiana, but still an impressive 6-game win. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh really finishing off those series well.
So looking at Game 1, Spurs vs. Heat, rematch of 2013. This final series, for a couple of reasons, was very, very important. As looking at the rematch, there hadn't been a back-to-back finals rematch since 1998 Bulls versus Jazz.
Okay.
And much like this
I
series,
didn't know
Chicago
that.
in 98 didn't have home court advantage.
Because Boston and LA almost went back-to-back NBA Finals, but there was that 1 year in between with LA and Orlando,
Was striving for
which was supposed to be the year that LeBron met Kobe in the finals, but LeBron lost to Orlando and didn't meet Kobe in the finals.
the elusive three-peat. Right here, looking at LeBron's legacy this series, there was tons at stake. If he three-peats, he's just like Mike. If he beats Tim Duncan in their overall rivalry, he's up 2-1 and not down 1-2. And for someone like D Wade, he ends up having 4 rings instead of 3. So looking at game 1 the first quarter, the Bosh, Wade, LeBron trio came out rolling. As early on, up by 5 points, at the end of one, a combined 18 points, the majority of the Heat's points coming from the big 3. The first 24 minutes of basketball in this year's finals, it was pretty nip and tuck, close throughout the entire half. And for the Spurs side of things, the time they really pulled away, made a run, was end the first quarter.
What the fuck was that, LeBron?
24 minutes of basketball in this year's finals, and it was pretty.
LeBron trying to dribble between his legs and shit, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he has, like, the only time he's good at dribbling is downhill. When he tries to do shit like this, bro, it just looks clumsy.
Nip and tuck, close throughout the entire half. And for the Spurs side of things,
throwing his hands up and complaining. That's one thing I hated about him, was how much he complains.
They really pulled away, made a run. It was end the first quarter, the Heat went cold, missed 6 straight shots, and Spurs won an 8-4 run. Besides that, the first half was very much competitive, a toss-up game. And looking at the Heat, once again, their big 3, their depth, showing up in big-time ways. As LeBron James had 13 points, Wade had 12, and Bosh and Allen combined had 20. So far in Game 1, looking at both teams, playing very, very well.
Facts.
But looking past that, the big storyline in Game 1 so far was the AC in the arena not working.
Oh my, no AC throughout.
People try to say San Antonio did this on purpose, but I'm like, that would just hurt their players just as much as it would hurt LeBron. And if people try to say, oh, San Antonio on purpose turned their AC off or broke their AC so it would get so hot, and they tried to make it uncomfortable on LeBron, I'm like, that would literally hurt everybody because LeBron got cramps this game.
The entire building. Who cares about us? Jalen, does it affect the players at all?
It doesn't affect the players as much as people think. You grow up playing AAU basketball, summer league basketball, playing outside. These players are conditioned to play regardless as long as there's a basketball and 2 hoops.
Larry Bird laughs at the idea that this would affect the players.
As he should, right? Okay.
On it. You've been sweating a lot, so let's make sure you're okay.
Oh, yeah. I feel like pouring a bucket of water.
Looking over to the Heat bench prior to that timeout, saying, time to get me out. Need a timeout. That's what Eric Spoelstra did.
Soft like Charmin out in this motherfucker. Yeah, tell him, Kobe.
Get me out. Need a timeout. That's what Eric Spoelstra did.
Now, that right there for Game 1, the AC not working, was a big-time subplot. But looking at both these teams, if you're being logical, who do you think could handle it better? The Miami Heat, who have Wade, Bosh, LeBron, all guys who are in shape, good athletes. The San Antonio Spurs, at this point, were an ancient team. Tim Duncan, 38, Manu, 36,
38.
and Parker and Diaw in their early 30s. If you were a betting man at halftime, since the AC being a big-time factor, nobody in their right mind would think LeBron, Wade, and Bosh being more affected by the Heat than the San Antonio Spurs. But once again, this team was old, and in theory, the Heat will wear them down the longer they play.
Facts.
But looking at this game, virtually the exact opposite. As the Heat in the second half were definitely fatigued, and LeBron himself in the fourth quarter had cramps not once, but twice.
Broken. And it is.
But if they're really like, okay, so this is one thing where a lot of people say like, oh, you can play through pain. Pain is one thing. But if you, like, anybody who knows anything about cramps knows, if you get really bad cramps, it completely will lock up your leg or your arm to where you can't, like, you can walk off pain. You can't walk off a cramp when your whole leg is locked up and you can't physically move it. So, like, if he really did have cramps, which I would assume he did, but cramps are kind of hard because, like, cramps will physically lock up your leg where you can't do nothing. Like, I've had some bad cramps in my life, and they are not fun. And I can take a lot of pain, but taking cramps is it's different.
For players, including LeBron James, watch him here after this shot.
Soft like Sharman, I agree. You got to try to play through it. He kept coming out. He kept coming out. You got to try to play through it, but cramps suck.
Looks to the bench. Second time in the game he's had to do that and ask out. This is down at the other end of the floor. James in there guarding Duncan, and you can see that he's had all sorts of problems. We heard him on our mic earlier say that he couldn't breathe because of how hot and steamy it is in here.
And it's certainly pressure. But Pop talked about it. Everybody's going through the same thing. And if you're LeBron James, an all-time great, the great ones find a way to tell their body, not now.
Yeah, exactly. You have to just... The fact that he was coming out, though, is the thing that... Sorry, I got a Google thing and that sends me copyright, but we're good. But the fact that he was coming out is the problem.
I'm your mother's friend with benefits.
It wasn't the fact that he was getting cramps and showing signs of being hurt. You know what I mean? It was the fact that he was coming out in a finals game and not trying to play through it when your team needs you.
A few minutes later.
It is stifling just to sit and watch. Again, fans all game long have been waving their programs.
Pathetic. What kind of physical test was it in here in this arena with the temperature being what it was?
It was significant. Yeah, it was definitely a factor. I don't know what happened to LeBron, but I think all of us were feeling the heat. We're all dehydrated. We played through it, found a way to win.
That right there for LeBron's legacy was the birth of LeCramp James. And looking at game one, losing game one,
LeCramp is crazy.
Not a big time deal, but at the very least,
LeCramp James is crazy as fuck.
Squandered opportunity, as prior to LeBron leaving this game was basically dead even, a toss-up of who would win it. Now, looking at game two, also in San Antonio, essentially a must-win game.
LeCramp, LeBrick, LeFlop. See, the flopping narrative is a real narrative. Like, you know what I mean? Players in the old days, they used to try to sell fouls, but they were real fouls and they would try to sell it. There's videos of Braun not getting touched at all and flopping, and that's a tarnish on your legacy no matter who you are. And that's one of the main reasons I could never have him as the GOAT, is the flopping. Plain and simple. There's other reasons, but I'm saying that is one of the main reasons. You cannot be the GOAT and flop.
There's two straight like he did in 2011. So the first quarter of this game, how did the Heat come out? How did they attack? Well, it wasn't great. They were lethargic, slow, and running in mud. The Spurs team firing all cylinders, looking fantastic. At Duncan the first.
That Spurs team was so good, and they moved, their ball movement and everything was so great. They would pass the ball 10, 15 times down. Like, they would be moving it, bam, 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 passing it, and then the easy shot, bro. It literally, that Spurs team was so great.
Quarter had a game high 11 points. Looking at Wade and LeBron combined the first quarter, an abysmal 2 points, 1 of 4 shooting, and 5 turnovers. Out of the entire Wade LeBron era in first quarter scoring, that right there is the lowest total all time.
It's over. We are screwed.
If you look at Wade and LeBron in that first quarter, I mean, absolutely anemic, things like absolutely what you expected after a heartbreaking game one loss. On the Spurs side of things,
that should have been a kickball though, but they didn't call it. This is my thing with LeBron and the players nowadays, because it's gotten a lot worse. Is if they miss it, let your coach complain to the ref. Get back and play ball. Stop this. This should have been a kickball. He is correct. This should have been a kickball, but the refs missed it. Instead of complaining, just get back and play defense. Let your coach. This is the way I was always taught. You let your coach complain. Like when I was playing ball and shit, you let your coach complain about the calls. You keep playing.
Expected every heartbreaking game.
Like what? Don't do this. They missed it. They missed a call. Just keep playing. It happens.
One loss. On the Spurs side of things,
let the players not the players, but let the coach and the fans react to the calls.
The fourth quarter game one versus the first quarter game two, almost identical, as combined 52 points, 21 dimes, impeccable shooting, and only missed 1 3 in 2 quarters combined. This Spurs team in the second quarter, it felt like blowout city. They were going to run away with the game and put it out of hand fairly early. But to the Heat's credit, a very important 7-0 run to close the gap and make things manageable. And it was all said and done in the second quarter. Actually outscored the Spurs 24-17 as San Antonio went absolutely ice cold. That right there for the Heat was a critical quarter. It stopped the bleeding and responded with some great defense and solid offense. As looking at LeBron James in the quarter, had 11 points, Bosh had 10 total, Ray Richard had 6, and Ray Allen had 5.
Okay.
Looking at the first half offensive stats, no doubt solid, some good output. But looking at the big time difference, why this game was close, wasn't the Heat's offense, but their defense. As looking at the Spurs in the first half, only 43% shooting. And of course in the second quarter, only managed 17 points. So far in Game 1 and Game 2, yes, some big time runs, big time scoring bursts, but the Heat almost every time would respond and make things competitive. And look at the fourth quarter, again.
He's trying to break down the he had no help narrative when he did have help. Birdman came in clutch and a bunch of the, you know what I mean? Like, he had help. He had one of the best three-point shooters of all time on his team. Mario Chalmers, a great point guard. Like, there was a lot of people on this team that helped. Like,
very, very tight competitive, much like Game 1. And lucky for Heat fans this time, LeBron James didn't cramp up and had to leave early.
5 to shoot. James finds Allen to Anderson, reverse layup.
See Birdman and Ray Allen coming in, like, he had help. Birdman was a great, whether people liked him or not, Birdman was a good player, and Ray Allen is one of the best shooting guards we've seen in a long time, like, especially, like, shooting actually the ball. Yeah, he was a great player, but Ray Allen shooting the ball, one of the best three-point shooters we've seen in the game ever.
Aid to play for Birdman.
But to say he had no help in this finals is crazy.
Ginobili on the drive, back out to Parker. Parker for 3. That's good.
And LeBron James looking saying, are you kidding me?
Spurs do have a foul to give. James kicks it out, corner to Bosh, an open 3. It's good. Chris Bosh from downtown.
See, LeBron was a great passer. That's one thing I talked about in my Larry Bird things. Like, LeBron would make the right pass. He was a great passer for his size.
Bosh, an open 3. It's good. Chris Bosh from downtown. Ginobili got hit in the face. Continues pass off of Duncan's fingertips. James drives down the lane, lefty layup. He got tripped up.
Yeah.
Duncan the rebound. Allen right up on Ginobili. Ginobili behind the back, steps back.
Mono Ginobili, man.
Rebound strip. Diop trying to get it. Miami ball. To have a foul to give. Bosh puts it on the floor. Bounce passed away.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to
See,
Refresher
to say he
Land.
had
Sit
no
back
help
with
is
Black
crazy.
Cherry.
Look what Chris Bosh and D Wade were out there. Chris Bosh is a freaking power forward and a center. Look what they were out there doing in the finals. You had so much help. To say you had no help is crazy. In that interview, he says we just didn't have enough help. That's insane.
That right there from Chris Bosh in Game 2 was some big-time clutch plays. The timely three-pointer was a good pass to Wade to put the game out of reach. Chris Bosh in his Heat career in the finals had some big-time clutch plays that are highly underrated and outright forgotten. Of course, Game 2 of this series, but also versus Dallas in Game 3 with a clutch time game winner that nobody remembers. And look at Bosh 20.
Which is crazy. I don't remember him hitting a game winner. I remember Ray Allen's game winners. I remember, but I don't remember fucking Chris Bosh hitting a game winner.
14, the 5 games prior to this game, this guy was rolling, playing an all-time level as a third option. And looking at his averages, 21.2 points, 7 point boards on impeccable shooting. Chris Bosh right here in 2014 in the Heat's third option, if he got the touch of the shot attempts, was capable of being a 21-7 guy on ridiculous shooting.
Bosh was a beast, man. He was a beast. He was literally top 3 power forward in the league at that time. Power forward and center in the league at that time. By far. He was a beast. When he was at Toronto before he came to Miami, bro, he was putting up numbers. Like, people forget Chris Bosh was an all-star. Like, first, you know what I mean? He was a beast.
In this era of the NBA in 2014, pre the stats going crazy, that guy being your third option is luxury many teams simply did not have. And looking at both these teams, the Heat and Spurs, through 2 games, evenly matched, competitive. If you had to predict, it's probably going 7. As looking at LeBron, in the second half of Game 2, he was in fact phenomenal, all-time great. As in the half, had 22 points,
Facts.
and was damn near flawless. What you need from LeBron this series is an all-timer. Not just 1 good quarter here, 2 good quarters there, but a full 48-minute game where he's locked in,
Facts.
aggressive, and playing on both ends. And what you can have a repeat of is the first quarter of Game 2, where he immediately
Him
2
complaining.
points and 3 turnovers. So with that in mind,
Him
looking at Game
complaining
3
would
in
get
South Beach,
get himself
the Heat
in
are
his
home
own
floor this
head.
season, where he pretty impressive.
Like, this is something I fucking hate about LeBron. As much as I am a LeBron fan, like, this is one of the reasons he can never be my GOAT, because of this shit right here.
First quarter of Game 2, where he immediately 2 points and 3 turnovers. So with that in mind, looking at Game 3 in South Beach, the Heat on their home floor this season were a pretty impressive 32-9, the 5th best.
Let me
mark
know in the
the
chat where
NBA.
you guys have
In the
LeBron ranked
postseason,
at.
were a perfect 8-0. That right there is some very important context. And look at the first quarter. This game in the first quarter was close for about 3 minutes.
For about 3 minutes is crazy. You're in the finals, Game 3, and the only close part of the game was the first 3 minutes. That's not good.
Tied at 8 apiece. The Spurs from then on out went a 17-4 run and followed it up with a 14-5 run. And after one, we're up by 16 points. And looking at Kawhi Leonard in the first quarter, a game-high 16 points. By the second quarter, the Spurs still rolling. We're now up 25 points due to Kawhi dominating on both ends of the floor.
6 for 6 combined, including free throws for San Antonio.
Kawhi Leonard did go off, man. Kawhi Leonard, I remember watching this and thinking, like, who the fuck is this? Like, I remember watching this series and being like, who the fuck is Kawhi Leonard? And then all of a sudden, like, he was one of the most talked about people ever. Not ever, but like at the time, he was one of the most talked about people, like, going, because like he was young at this point. He went crazy.
Struggled so far in this series and for much of the playoffs. Leonard again shooting and nails the three-pointer.
Bottom line is it sparked the team. And
This is when he got the nickname the Claw and shit.
The big W on the road in Game 2.
Parker looking. Leonard another break. Puts it in. Kawhi Leonard.
Crazy. Going crazy.
Wild pass out to Mills. Patty Mills finding Leonard in the corner. That's a three.
Man, that's good defense by LeBron, though, low key. That's just better offense.
Out to Mills. Patty Mills finding Leonard.
I mean, he didn't. That's never mind. I lied. That's not really the best defense. But the Kawhi Leonard, he just went off. He did, plain and simple. Kawhi Leonard just went crazy.
That's a three. Kawhi Leonard. Most points he's ever scored in any quarter in his brief career.
Most points he's ever scored in any quarter, and he decided to do it in the finals. All of a sudden, it was Kawhi Leonard this, Kawhi Leonard that, and he was a freaking one of the most talked about players at the time. All of a sudden,
Leonard gets it back, fakes the three.
he went
James
crazy.
closes out on him. Leonard shoots and hits.
That first half by Kawhi right there was an absolute carry job. And compared to Game 1 and Game 2, where he's largely out of the offensive flow, Game 3 was the Kawhi show, him finally taking over. And looking at that 25-point lead, at this moment what you're thinking is the game is out of reach and it's effectively over. And that's technically not true. As looking at this Heat team, they made numerous runs. As coming out of the halftime break, got down to 15 points, and at the end of the third quarter, actually got to single digits at a 9-point lead. So the Heat right here, very much in the game, in striking distance.
I forgot about him, the dude that just made the layup right there.
And look at the second and third quarters, the Heat's offense. Who was carrying them leading this comeback? Was it LeBron James? Unfortunately not. As Dwayne Wade had 15 points, Rashard Lewis had 9, Bosh had 7, Ray and Cole had 5, and LeBron...
You would never see MJ having 4 points with his team down like that. He would be trying to... LeBron would get passive-aggressive in these situations. Whenever it would turn into a blowout a little bit, I've noticed that in LeBron's career. If it's a close game, he's not passive-aggressive. But if it's a blowout and he's trying to make a comeback, he'll end up being passive aggressive and not playing as hard. That's when like some players kick it into overdrive and play harder because they're like, hell no, I'm not losing.
LeBron only had
Kobe scoring 81 when his team was down like 30 that game. And they needed every one of them points to win the game.
Now, why is that important? Look at LeBron's first quarter. He came out blazing, 14 points off rip. But compared to Kawhi Leonard, outscored 16-14. In the next 2 quarters, LeBron James really did nothing. He's being carried by a supporting cast. And watching this game, what I'm thinking for LeBron in the moment is, he's saving his energy resting for the 4th quarter for a big-time push. But for Heat fans, that 4th quarter, unfortunately, repeated the 2nd, 3rd quarter, and not a sequel to that great 1st quarter.
Man.
Whoa. What's that?
See, like, I remember watching these, but I was a kid, so, like, I don't remember it all in depth.
Impossible.
Leonard kicks it back out. Thank you, Doris. Green on the drive. James guarding him left-handed and one.
Danny Green. I remember watching Danny Green in this finals, too. He's a beast.
What a beautiful shot from Green.
So, see, LeBron complaining like that wasn't a foul. Come on, LeBron. You clobbered him.
James guarding him
You actually clobbered him.
What a beautiful shot from Green. Cole looking for James Parker on a double team. James in the post. And a travel. Lifted his pivot foot. Leonard right up on James. 8 to shoot. James puts his head down, drives to the baseline, shut off nicely.
Damn.
Allen on the switch, and Kawhi Leonard attacked a bad angle closeout.
I knew he had a bad series, but, like, I don't remember all of this. You know what I mean? This is...
James against Leonard, lost the ball.
Damn.
Parker, back out Green. Green launches it up to Duncan. Touch pass Leonard.
People have bad games. Don't get me wrong. Kobe in 2010 in Game 7, he had a great series, but Game 7 2010, he had a pretty bad game. A lot of people had bad games, and some other people had to pick up. You know what I mean? But he's having a bad series, not a bad game.
Gets a head start. Uses Duncan's screen. Leonard on the drive. Kicks it back out. Parker for 3. Puts it in. Tony Parker from downtown. Leonard with 5 to shoot. Pulls back. Leonard with 2 to shoot. Drives. Off balance. Draws the foul on James. As the shot clock was expiring.
I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of a soft ass foul.
Leonard with 5 to shoot. Pulls back. Leonard with 2 to shoot. Drives.
Yeah, Leonard kind of sold that a little bit. I ain't gonna cap with you.
Off balance. Draws the foul on James. As the shot clock.
See, LeBron could get in his head. Kobe and MJ had different types of mentalities. They wouldn't get in their head. They wanted to win at all costs. LeBron, when he would get down, he'd start getting fouls, and he's not playing good, he would get in his own head.
Was expiring. Still one of the top players in the game.
You can see he was hanging his head after that. He's like, man, what the fuck ever.
James drives. Layup misses.
He stands there like, God damn.
The rebound.
I ran into dozens of people, and I asked every one of them, who wins tonight? Everybody said the Heat will win and win easily last night. Everybody who came here thought the Heat would win yesterday. I thought the Heat would win. You thought the Heat would win.
For LeBron right here in a critical Game 3, you go up 2-1 or down 1-2.
Definitely a travel.
The performance he gave was pretty lackluster.
Definitely traveled. That's an obvious travel.
Game 3, you go up 2-1 or down 1-2.
God.
The performance he gave was pretty lackluster. In all honesty, post that first quarter, it was shades of 2011. As looking at overall stats, 8 points, 7 turnovers, 4-8 shooting, 0 of 2 from deep, with the worst plus-minus of any Heat starter. Looking at LeBron's overall counting stats, having 22 points,
you can give a lot of this credit to Kawhi Leonard for Kawhi Leonard was playing some great defense. I remember this. This is why they gave him the nickname the Claw, and he became like he wasn't just putting a show on offense. Like he was playing amazing defense.
Not a terrible game, but look at the context of the game, how bad he was post that first quarter. That makes it much more damning. And look at the fourth quarter, only putting up 4.3 turnovers.
Kawhi Leonard was all over him all game, all series.
For a player, you expect more.
You've got to do better.
And look at Dwayne Wade, the so-called washed Wade. This guy in Game 3 was in fact Miami's best player.
Facts.
And credit Kawhi Leonard, the second best player in this game, as Wade had 22 points on nearly 70% shooting. And look at the second half, 16 points in the catalyst for multiple big-time Heat runs. Right now in the moment, looking at D-Wade in these finals, you know, not all-time great 06 or even...
Nah, he's not. He's not 2006 D-Wade, but he's not washed. D-Wade was an all-star at this point. He was a beast still. He was one of the best shooting guards in the league still at this point in time.
In 2011. But you know, for a second option, doing his job. Look at these stats right here of Wade's last 10 playoff games in 2014 postseason. Scoring average, 20.2. From the field, 55% shooting. From 3, above 40%. And from line, almost at 90%. D-Wade in his last 10 playoff games scored 20 plus 5 separate times. So saying he was washed, you know, past his prime, look at the actual output, that's simply not true. Because of course in Game 3, having 22 points, he was the Heat's actual
How could you
best
say
player.
he's washed?
Now,
Watch that finals or just that year at all in 2014. Knows D-Wade was not washed. D-Wade was a freaking all-star. He was a beast. I would say at that point in time, he was top 3 best shooting guards and guards in the league. Who the fuck was a better guard than D-Wade at that point in time in the league? I like Derrick Rose, but that's a point guard. He wasn't a shooting guard. Like there's some, you know what I mean? But like D-Wade was top 3, top 4, top 5 at least shooting guard in the league at that point.
22 points. Look at LeBron James and that number, 22. Why is that important? If you look at Michael Jordan's finals career, 35 total games. His lowest scoring game ever was in fact also 22, which means Jordan, 1 out of 35 games, reached that mark of 22 points. If you look at LeBron's finals resume...
I'm not just dunking on him. I like LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan. He's in my top 5. But I just don't like the narrative that they try to push him to be in the GOAT. I just don't like that. I'm actually a LeBron fan. I got his cards and shit. I got a jersey. Like I loved watching him when he played for the Lakers. I liked watching him win a ring at the Lakers for LA. You know what I mean? I was like, hell yeah, he brought a ring to LA for us. You know what I mean? Because I'm a Lakers fan. So like I like LeBron. There's just some things that he does that I don't like. And there was certain points in time in his career where he flat out, you know what I mean? He lost it for his team, plain and simple. And that's why he couldn't be my GOAT. I'm not hating on him, though. Like, I'm not dunking on him like that. I do like LeBron. He's a great player. Like, sometimes I'm going to react to some of his highlights and shit because I do like LeBron. He's a great player. And anybody who just completely hates on him is just being biased because they hate some of the things he does. He is a great player. He's one of the greatest we've seen for sure.
2011.
But he did it in a different way that I can't respect as much. He had to go jump from team to team to team like that. You know what I mean? Like I like that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant stuck it out for the good years and the bad years and tried to bring it to the same team. So there's just a few things that makes him not my GOAT.
12, 13, and now 14. LeBron's games, 22 points or under, have now reached 10 times in a mere 20 finals games.
I mean, I was giving some criticism on him too, though, because you know what I mean. Like there is a lot of things that, like this series, this looks really bad on your resume. You know what I mean? This does not look good. This series, 2011 series, and getting beat by Orlando in 2009, that also doesn't look good.
In 4 straight games, had 20, 17, 8, 17, and 21. Versus Spurs in 2013, the first 3 games was subpar. 18, 17, and 15. And of course, 2014, this game had 22 points.
See, he made it to the finals in 2007. And from then on, they were saying like, oh, LeBron's going to start winning championships. And he had a chance to meet Kobe Bryant in the finals in 2008, 2009, and 2010. And he failed all 3 years. And then he went to Miami in 2011. And then he still failed again in 2011 to win the championship. He won 2 then, and then lost to the Spurs. So, like, that's not a good record for them. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good start after you've already been in the league since 2003. That's not a good look.
If you look at LeBron's finals career right here, having these bizarre dud finals games happens pretty frequently. If you want to ask the question, why were Jordan's Bulls undefeated? Why did LeBron's team struggle in the finals? That right there is a big time reason. MJ on the biggest stage was super consistent. LeBron James, has had some great final series. But if you're talking upper echelon consistency, Michael Jordan is something on another tier compared to LeBron James.
He ain't lying.
And looking back at the Spurs vs. Heat Game 4 in South Beach, this game for the Heat...
I mean, I can understand that. Hard for you to get behind a Laker. I get it, because I dislike the Celtics so much growing up. You know what I mean? But I love Larry Bird. But the Celtics I hated was the Paul Pierce and the Ray Allen and the Kevin Garnett and the Rajon Rondo Celtics, because that's who the rivalry was against. But anybody who, I'll have to do some more Kobe ones, because Kobe has a very great case for being that. Kobe's my second greatest of all time, because Kobe has one of the greatest cases outside of Michael Jordan and Larry Bird for being the GOAT for real.
It was in fact do or die.
Could never. They don't have the same resumes.
Is effectively over. And look at this Heat team.
I'm sorry, they just don't.
They have lost back-to-back home games in the postseason in nearly 3 years. So Game 4, a do-or-die game for the Heat. If you're a betting man, you say Miami pulls it off, ties it 2-2. But look at the first quarter from LeBron James, more of the same. As defensively, just got to say it, he was playing losing basketball.
Chalmers looking to get going. Layup, misses, rebound. Tipped. Diaw has it.
What the fuck are you doing, LeBron? Get back. Go get back on D.
A lot of talk last couple of days about Chalmers' struggles.
Oh.
Beautiful feed to Duncan.
Man, Kawhi Leonard, Mo, he had a hell of a series, bro. Didn't he win MVP? Who won MVP this year? I think Kawhi Leonard wins the Finals MVP, doesn't he?
Marker again gets in the paint.
Or does Tim Duncan win it?
Diaw does the same. Marker wide open during the playoffs. Despite being the oldest at 38. Green, another three-pointer.
Only one. Kobe only lost to him one time. He spanked them 2 years later.
Playing on iPhone? Now you can play Unlocked on PC with Google Play Games.
No, I actually had a lot of respect for that Boston team. You know what I mean? Because they were great. And they in 2008, they did give freaking the Lakers a beating. But they got a beating in 2010.
Google Play Games.
That right there from LeBron James in the first quarter of a do-or-die game, must-win game, was absolutely pathetic. And those defensive plays on his stat sheet really do not show up. Subpar pick and roll coverage,
same thing.
Effort, letting guys beat you off the dribble numerous times.
Exactly. You hated the Showtime Lakers. Same difference. You know what I mean?
Finding shooters, stuff like that in an NBA Finals game is crucial.
I think if you're Miami, if you looked at both of these teams to start this ball game, you would guess that the Spurs was down 2-1.
Yeah.
The way that they're battling and competing. And if you're Miami, you've got to find a way to get the spark in this building.
Leonard, the drive and finish.
Need Miami to show more passion right here, Mike. A lot more passion.
Pass to Bosh, a turnover, that's number 6.
And when you talk about
passion,
it starts with your best players. And looking at LeBron James and Dwayne
LeBron got really sloppy in this series with his passing.
Pass to Bosh,
a passion right here, Mike. A lot more passion.
Look, he should have went to the side, man. He should have went out to him. He was wide open.
Pass to Bosh, a turnover, that's number 6.
And when you
that's where I'm like Larry Bird. When I've been watching so much Larry Bird, I'm like Larry Bird would have made that tip pass over to the corner, bro, and hit that dude for the three.
About passion, it starts
Larry
with your
Bird's
best
passing
players.
was insane,
Looking
bro.
at LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, they've got to be much better, and they've got to play with more passion on both sides of the basketball.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Oh yeah.
The first half of a finals game.
But San Antonio Antonio's defense has been much, much better.
Mills, not that time. Leonard on the follow. Kawhi Leonard throws it.
Yeah, Kobe. Yeah, we don't deal with Kobe slander here. That's for sure. Kobe's the shit, man. That's my all-time favorite player, man. That's why he's number 2 for me. Other than MJ, like, I think Kobe's the closest thing we've ever seen to MJ.
It's a 22-point game.
Now, for LeBron's overall play this game, looking at the stat
And probably
sheet,
the
where
only
he really
person
had
we'll
his
ever
numbers
see
that
close
didn't
to
look more
MJ
impressive than they
again.
actually were was in the third quarter. As LeBron in the third quarter had 19 points on 7 of 10 shooting. That right there, just in a vacuum, is a phenomenal quarter. But looking at the stats, a day late and dollars short. As Miami at this point was already down by 20. And look at LeBron's 7 baskets in that third quarter. The first one, down by 19. The second one, down by 19. Third one, down by 19. Fourth, down by 17.
These numbers do not look good for Bron. Like, and if you look at like fuck, what was I about to say? Like his friend that was the coach, god dang, JJ Redick was saying LeBron is the most clutch player ever because LeBron has the most clutch time points. So people nowadays they count clutch time. To me, clutch is last 30 seconds, the game's on the line, who do you want having the ball? Now they count clutch time points as like if the game is close for the last 3 minutes and so like LeBron supposedly has the most clutch time points throughout his whole career. That's not just in big games, that's throughout his whole career. So like the last 3 minutes of close games, that's not clutch to me. And JJ Redick was trying to say, oh, LeBron's the most clutch player ever. And I'm like, no. I'm like, clutch is time running down, 10 seconds on the clock. You're coming down the court with the ball. Who's gonna hit the shot? And that's where somebody like MJ, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, or MJ, Larry Bird, fucking Kobe Bryant. Like Kobe Bryant has the most game winners out of all game-winning shots and game-tying shots out of all players that have ever played the game. MJ's right behind him. Larry Bird hit game winners all the time. That's clutch. LeBron having the most points in the last 3 minutes of close games doesn't make him clutch. How many game-winning shots has he made? How many game-tying shots has he made? That's another thing that doesn't look good on his resume for the GOAT.
Then down by 24, 24, and 24. Look at LeBron's overall numbers. The impact on winning was minimal at best.
Now, it could have been my Wi-Fi for a second.
That first quarter, first half, LeBron James being absolutely anemic. When LeBron turned on in this game, it was simply too late. But looking at the stat sheet, you wouldn't know that. But watching the games, it's very, very apparent.
The Miami Heat got beat down last night.
Facts, they got beat down.
They've been beat down the last 2 games in Miami. And I think the thing that has gotten me, and I'll say it, depressed, is the fact that they were tired in the second quarter.
Yeah.
In the second quarter, I saw LeBron James looking spent. The rest of the team looked tired.
And that's the crazy thing is like, what were they out doing? They weren't, LeBron wasn't out partying and shit. And I'm sure he wasn't doing any extra workouts. So why was he so tired?
And it wasn't because they were older and older than San Antonio and that was it. No, Greg Popovich went like this. Patty Mills,
Kawhi Leonard was working LeBron out the whole series, making LeBron just exhausted out there, just defending him like crazy.
Leonard, Danny Green, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. And it didn't matter what the Miami Heat did. Popovich insisted that they pushed the tempo. And because
this was 4 finals in a row. You know what I mean? So by this time, everybody says it's hardest to like keep it going. So when you're on your last one, you know what I mean? Like 1996, they say, like Michael Jordan said 96 was his hardest finals appearance after 2 different three-peats. You know what I mean? The last one's always the hardest. And this was 4 championships in a row. They lost though in 2011, but this was still 4 in a row. And then the Spurs were pushing LeBron so much and playing such hard defense and such good defense on him that it just wore him out, and he just didn't have enough in the tank, and he got drained and had terrible games. He had a terrible series. this was a terrible series for LeBron. Absolutely garbage.
Miami literally looked like a team starving for an oxygen mask.
Bring your agent into Monday.com. Your Claude, ChatGPT, and Copilot agents working side by side where you already work. Set permissions, assign tasks, work from the same context.
Checking to make sure it's not
team-wide
my
visibility.
shit.
So build an.
Now,
You said the stream was suspended for a sec. Let me check and make sure it's not my thing. Oh, I got a copyright notice. That's why. I wonder if it's still good. Is the stream still good now? Is it still going now? I got a copyright notice. I don't want to get another one. I don't know if it's still good. Yeah, it's the thing. I'm going to have to end this video. It's this video. I can't play too much of it. It's not you guys. It's the video. They're giving me copyright notices for some little thing in the video. So I'm going to have to find some different videos and get back on live. But my bad, y'all. Some videos do this and some don't. But man, it's still live checking out